Have you ever dreamed what it would be like to conduct a rousing marching band? Or wondered how a trombone and a trumpet are different? Well, today, we'll discover the answer to those questions and many more as Tasteful Musical Productions proudly invites you on a musical adventure with our new weekly television extravaganza, Music is Life. Now, join me in greeting the host of our show, our own musical teenage prodigy, Maestro Luther and the Seattle Marching Band.
Hey! Hey, camera dude! Hey! Hey! Over here, man! Sorry, I'm late. I just... Whoa!
Oh, no, not you again. Where is Maestro Luther this time?
Bad case of the flu, so he asked me to fill in. Talk about Johann Sebastian Smith, your awesome teen on the music scene. At your service. Oh. Yeah. Welcome to Music is Life. We're totally jazzed you cats at home could join us. Today, you're gonna meet the way awesome brass family of instruments. You're also gonna see a totally fantabulous marching band with me as your conductor. And when we're done, you're gonna wanna grab a horn and learn to play it. Talk about an adventure. So let's get cranking and kick back some brass.
Kick back some brass?
Check this out. The four major brass instruments are the trumpet, the French horn, the trombone, and the tuba. Dig that shine. With these brass babies, you can really play some tunes. And the best thing about it is anyone can learn to play one.
The four major brass instruments are the trumpet, French horn, trombone, and tuba.
PJ, where is the marching band?
Oh, I wanted to rap with you about that. I made a few minor changes to the script. I thought we'd move the marching band to Act 3 to give me more time to perfect my conducting skills. Move the recording studio to Act 2, and I thought we'd meet the instruments right here in the band room. It's right here in my shooting schedule. Wild, huh?
Well, that actually does make a tad more sense, but...
So here's a few of the brass family's brothers and sisters. Bring the camera in, guys, for a close look. Check it out. The piccolo trumpet. The bugle. The flugelhorn. The valve trombone. A sousaphone. In the old days, the Romans, the Greeks, and the Egyptians were all out blowing their own horns. Early hunters found that the horns of animals made really neat sounds when you blew in them. In the Renaissance times, they started developing the trombone family, but it was during the Baroque period that instrument makers really got busy with the trumpets and trombones, giving them a way fine, brighter sound. That's when the brass family really started jamming. Hey, who's got the remote? Check this out.
Say, television is like a flying carpet, isn't it? I mean, here we are sitting comfortably, face to face, but in the twinkling of an eye, we can be carried off to an entirely different world.
early horns were long and straight, something like this. But some real brainiac buds realized if you wound the tube like this, you can make just as cool a sound, and it would be easier to carry around.
Well, how did you like that?
I do believe brass instruments have much more to them than just a curly tube.
How oh so right you are. Most brass instruments have a mouthpiece on one end, valves and tubing in the middle, and a bell on the other end.
Most brass instruments have a mouthpiece, tubing, valves, bell.
The horn doesn't actually make the sound. You do, by pursing your lips together like this and buzzing while blowing. You try it. You try to buzz. Go ahead. It's fun. Try it. Now that you know how to buzz, add a mouthpiece. The mouthpiece sends a sound into the tube. The fancy word for all of this is embouchure. Most horns have 3 valves. By pressing down the valves, it changes the lengths of the tube, and that changes the pitch of the sound.
The valves control the pitch of the sound through extra lengths of tubing.
I think we need another demonstration. When the valve is pressed down, it opens the tube, and that makes the tube longer, and that makes the sound lower. But if the valve is closed, it makes the tube shorter, and that makes the sound higher.
Very interesting.
You know, the longer I live, the more I realize how much all of us are missing.
And what about the bell?
The bell is where the sound comes out. Bigger instrument, bigger bell. Hey, I've been looking for this all day. Yeah, those are the makings of most brass instruments. And that's also tic-tac-toe.
Oh, PJ. Well done, Master PJ. But have you noticed?
So we gotta quit snoozing and get cruising, because we know where we're going next. The recording studio. Yeah, that's a wrap here, guys.
Well, so far, PJ has shown us that most brass instruments are made up of a bell, a mouthpiece, valves, and tubing. And he's introduced us to the brass family, the trumpet, the French horn, the trombone, and the tuba. I just hope that the boy can make it to the recording studio on time. Oh, dear.
This is my grandson, Bernard. I told him he needed to get a haircut, but does he listen to me? No.
Well, check out this picture of Mozart. He's my favorite composer, but oh, talk about a bad hair day.
My goodness.
PJ.
Well, aloha! We were just sharing pics of our favorite people while we wait for the number 11. I was just telling my friend here how instruments speak to me.
I'd like to hear this one myself.
Well, when I hear a bugle play, I imagine it's talking to me. Instruments speak with the different sounds they make. Oh, that's what you call a fanfare. What does that sound tell you?
It tells me that something important is going to happen. Maybe a foreign dignitary or royalty. Makes me feel like a queen.
How about this sound?
That has a melancholy sound. It tells me something sad is happening.
How about this?
That kind of music makes me want to get up and boogie.
Just hear all the different sounds instruments make. An instrument can tell a story, or express an emotion, or make you want to get up and get down. Whoa! We gotta cut this conversation short, because the bus is here, and we're late. We're back, and I've just discovered there are lots of fun and interesting people that take the bus.
Oh, yes, fascinating. PJ, are you sure you have everything?
As sure as I'm Paco Bell Johann Sebastian Smith.
You must be Pachelbel Johann Sebastian Smith.
Told ya.
I'm Susie, your sound engineer. Everything is all set up and the musicians are ready.
Cool. You can call me PJ.
Okay, PJ, let's go.
All right. Now, you're really gonna see and hear what a blast it is to play a brass instrument.
Let's begin with the French horn.
Oui, oui, mon capitaine.
The French horn has a soft, mellow sound, very expressive and quite romantic. Many say its rich golden tones sound almost far away, broad and smooth and yet...
Hey, did you know these horns were originally used for hunting?
Yes, I did.
And did you know that you play the French horn with one hand in the bell?
Well, of course I knew.
It's the most difficult horn to play. And it's also...
The only horn played with the left hand.
Jeez, how'd you get so smart?
French horns were originally used for hunting and are played with the left hand.
PJ, you wouldn't happen to know what the oldest brass instrument is, would you?
Oh, I know.
Okay, go ahead.
The trombone, of course. Some say it dates back 700 years. It uses a slide to change notes, but some trombones do have valves.
When the slide is in, that makes the trombone's tubing shorter and makes the pitch higher. When you push the slide out, it makes the trombone's tubing longer, and that makes the pitch lower. Trombones are way popular in jazz and Dixieland music.
I'll bet you can't name 3 famous trombone players.
J.J. Johnson, Herbie Green, and Tommy Dorsey.
Show off.
The trombone is the oldest brass instrument.
The cue cards are all mixed up. I need him to introduce the next instrument, but I just can't find the right... I give up. Anybody who know what the next instrument is?
The tuba.
Don't have to yell about it. The tuba is so big, it has to sit in your lap. It makes the great oom-pa-pa sound. Anybody have any idea how many feet of brass tubing there is in the tuba?
16. And did you know that a tuba can have from 3 to 6 valves?
And did you know that the mouthpiece is so large it covers practically your whole mouth?
Well, did you know that Pete Biggs, Stan Kenton, and Howard Johnson are just a few of the famous tuba players?
Well, did you know that Bugs Bunny had a nephew named Clyde?
What does that have to do with the tuba?
Nothing.
The tuba is the largest brass instrument and plays the lowest notes.
Can't remember where I read it, but somewhere it said the trumpet is the most popular of all brass instruments.
Do tell.
The trumpet is not only the smallest brass instrument, it can also blow the highest and the loudest notes.
Buddy Bolden, King Oliver, Dizzy Gillespie, and Miles Davis are just a few of the pioneers and premier trumpeters of this century.
Don't forget the father of American jazz, Mr. Louis Armstrong. Not to mention the great players of today like Maynard Ferguson, Doc Severinsen, and Wynton Marsalis.
The trumpet is the smallest brass instrument and plays the highest notes.
And speaking of jazz,
You simply cannot discuss the brass without mentioning jazz. This style of music is truly an American art form. Gaining popularity in the 1920s and 30s, it changed the way we hear brass instruments forever.
Hey,
Thanks, Susie.
I had fun.
Now, PJ, you realize we have an entire marching band waiting at the high school to perform our finale. You're sure you're going to be able to get there on time?
You think I'm worried? We're right on schedule.
Well, it certainly was exciting to see and hear those great brass instruments. The French horn, the trombone, the tuba, and the trumpet are all exciting and beautiful sounding members of the brass family. I just hope that PJ can find his way to the marching band on time. There you are. What do you think you're doing?
Explaining about the mute. I thought our crew would like to see how trumpeters and tuba players can change the sounds they play by putting what they call a mute into the bell of their instrument.
mutes come in different shapes and sizes depending on the bell of the instrument. The mute changes the tone of the sound. Man, the mute for the tuba is so big, I could use it for a bicycle seat.
The mute changes the tone quality of an instrument and comes in many shapes and sizes.
PJ, the marching band has been waiting.
And they shall wait no more.
Oh dear. They're playing Stars and Stripes Forever, written by John Philip Sousa. So important was the sound of the tuba to the marching band. John Philip Sousa helped design a modified tuba that wraps around your head to make it easier to march with. They decided to call it a sousaphone.
John Philip Sousa was a famous marching band director and composer who assisted in the design of the sousaphone.
So many brass instruments make up the complete brass sound. There's a piccolo trumpet, bugle, flugelhorn, and a valve and slide trombone. Sousa wrote many memorable marches, but march music is only one of the music styles that bands perform. Classical music, symphonies, concertos, and sonatas have the ability to thrill and inspire, but classical music keeps evolving as modern composers break new ground. And of course, there's rock and roll. So today you've been introduced to the brass family. You've seen a trumpet, tuba, trombone, and a French horn. You've learned how most brass instruments consist of a mouthpiece, tubing, valves, and a bell. And you've heard how the brass is truly the driving force behind a marching band. Now, you may be wondering what happened to PJ. Well, conducting takes a great deal of skill, so we thought we'd start PJ out at a rehearsal. Maestro PJ, if you please.
Music is life, and playing an instrument is so cool. Now that you know about it, well, you're practically an expert. Just pick the horn you like, and with a little practice, it'll be no time before you're in tune with the brass. Till next time, check you later.
Your musical journey has just begun. A musical adventure is so much fun. Come along and hear the sound, how music in your life makes the world go round. We're in tune with the strings and brass. The strings can sing and the brass has class. We're in tune with the woodwind's flair, percussion's in the air. Music everywhere. Let our musical adventure take you there. Bang those drums,
Tickle those keys, play those horns as loud as you please.
hear that rhythm,
Hear